All right, watch this. I got another one for y'all. Watch this. Romans 10 and 4. They love this one in church. Watch this. It say, for Christ is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone that believe it. You see, they get caught up on this. Everyone. Let's read it again. For Christ is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone that believe it. So this is twofold. First of all, when it say for Christ is the end of the law, it is referring to the sacrificial law. Because our people don't understand the law, statutes, and commandments. They don't understand we have a moral law, a civil law, a dietary law, a ceremonial law, and a sacrificial law. So Christ was the end of the sacrificial law, because before him you had to sacrifice an animal or give an offering to God for sin or transgression of the law. You had to do that. But Christ killed all that. He was the ultimate sacrifice. That is one. So now let's read again. For Christ is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone that believe it. So they think that's for everybody. That's the part that's confusing them. So let's go up. We know Romans is for Paul. This is by Paul himself, right? So let's start from verse 1. Let's not just jump down to verse 4. Let's start from verse 1. Very first word he said out his mouth is what? Brethren. So he let you know before he even get to verse 4 who he talking to. His brethren. Now, in case we don't know who Paul's brethren is, let's find that out. We're going to go to 2 Corinthians 11 and 22. It's Paul. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I. So we know who his brothers and them is. Let's go back. Let's go back to Romans. Let's go back to verse 1. Matter of fact, let's show that again. Watch this. Romans 11 and 1. Let's show you who Paul's brethren is. It says, I say then, have God cast away his people? God forbid, because our people think the Israelites is dead in today's time. He haven't cast away our people. You are the descendants of those people. Let's read again. I say then, have God cast away his people? God forbid. For I am also an Israelite. We just read that in Corinthians. Of the seed of Abraham, we just read that in Corinthians, of the tribe of Benjamin. So when he get to this part, Romans 10 and 1, when he say brethren, he talking about Israel, his people. He talking about his people. So when you get to verse 4, everyone he talking about, or everybody he talking about, is his brethren. Is his brethren. But let's read again. It say, brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel, which is his brethren, for Israel is that they might be saved. So before he even got down to verse 4, he already set the scene. He let you know that he is praying for his brethren, which is Israel, to be saved. Why? For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, meaning they have a passion for God. Our people today's time, they go to church every Sunday, they got a passion for God, but not according to the knowledge. They don't have the understanding. It say, for they being ignorant of God's righteousness. Everything God called righteousness, they are ignorant of those things. Feast of Simon, Day of Atonement, New Moon, your God well, the moral law, the civil law, etc., 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 etc. He say, for they being ignorant of God's righteousness and going back to establish their own righteousness. Well, I believe when you say that, you is establishing your own righteousness. You being ignorant of God's righteousness and going about to establish your own righteousness. And when you do that, it say you have not submitted themselves into the righteousness of God. Because you believe. Verse 4. For Christ is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone that believes. He told you who he was talking to in verse 1. Verse 5. For Moses described righteousness. Who did Moses describe that to? Let's get that. Who did Moses describe the law to? So we'll know he's talking about his brother. So let's go to Malachi 4 and verse 4. Right here, right? Remember ye the law, because we just read in Romans, Moses described the law. We just read that, right? It say, remember ye the law of Moses, my servant, which I, God himself, commanded him in Horeb, because that's where they was at when he gave him the commandments, for all Israel. The same people that Paul say is his brethren. Shalom.